Today, Anthropic just launched Claude 3, which beats out Sam Altman, OpenAI's ChatGPT, as well as Google Gemini, which just beat out ChatGPT in recent benchmark tests. This beats out both of those. Let's dive right into it. So this is some crazy news you'll see here today. We're announcing Claude 3 model family, which sets new industry benchmarks across a wide range of cognitive tasks. The family includes 3 state-of-the-art models in ascending order of capability: Claude 3 Haiku, Claude 3 Sonnet, and Claude 3 Opus. Each successive model offers increasingly more powerful performance, allowing users to select the optimal balance of intelligence, speed, and cost for their specific application. Opus and Sonnet are now available to use in Claude.ai and the Claude API, which is now generally available in 159 countries. Haiku will be available soon. So here are the Claude 3 model families, and you can see here we have the intelligence bench scores on the left-hand side, and we have the cost price per million tokens log scale on the bottom side, and it is gradually increasing as we get from Haiku to Sonnet to Opus. And we'll dive into each specific one of those models in just a second. So, a new standard for intelligence. Opus, our most intelligent model, outperforms its peers on most of the common evaluation benchmarks for AI systems, including undergraduate level expert knowledge, MLU, graduate level expert knowledge or expert reasoning, GPQA, basic mathematics, GSM-8K, and more. It exhibits near human level comprehension and fluency on complex tasks, leading the frontier of general intelligence. All Claude 3 models show increased capabilities in analysis and forecasting, nuanced content creation, code generation, and conversing in non-English languages like Spanish, Japanese, and French. Below is a comparison of the Claude 3 models to those of our peers on multiple benchmarks of capability. All right, so you'll see here Claude Opus, Claude Sonnet, and Claude Haiku, and then they're compared to models that we know very well, such as GPT-4, GPT 3.5, Gemini 1.0 Ultra, and Gemini 1.0 Pro. All right, so one thing I am noticing here is it's not compared to Gemini 1.5 Pro, but you can see here we have Claude Opus on the left-hand side, and it's, getting compared through different benchmark tests like undergraduate level knowledge, graduate level reasoning, grade school math, math problem solving, multilingual math, code, reasoning over text, mixed evaluations, knowledge Q&A, and common knowledge. And you'll see here, like we're getting close to that 100% with some of these. We're like 95% 0.4 in a 10-shot test, 96.4 in a 25% shot, or a 25-shot test, 86%, 83%, 84%, 90%, 60%, 95%, 50%, 86%. And if we look over here, it's beating out GPT-4 and every single category. All right, so what this tells me, we saw when Gemini ended up beating out GPT-4, for example, different times when Gemini or Google has these big launches within the AI news space, such as, Gemini coming out, launching, beating GPT-4 or GPT-4 Turbo. And one thing, it's not showing GPT-4 Turbo as well. But this is still really good, of course. But when we do see those announcements, we've always seen OpenAI or Sam Altman relaunch something to kind of outshadow it. We've seen this with Sora. We've seen this with many different things that OpenAI has done. So who knows? Maybe this will spark Sam Altman to kind of retaliate and launch something amazing. All right. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe Anthropic isn't as, much of a competitor in his mind as Google. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Of course, Anthropic has big partnerships with, Amazon and whatnot, and they're doing some really cool stuff here. Like we see here, this is pretty crazy. So I think this will definitely just really make things more competitive in this space. I mean, with Sam Altman, with OpenAI, with Google, everyone is really just pushing each other here. So it is starting to really heat up. Now, a few different things with this new launch. So near instant results, the Claude 3 models can power live customer chats, auto completions, and data extraction tasks where responses must be immediate and in real time. Haiku is the fastest and most cost-effective model on the market for its intelligence category. It can read an information and data-dense research paper on archive 10,000 tokens with charts and graphs in less than 3 seconds. Following launch, we expect to improve performance even further. For the vast majority of workloads, Sonnet is 2 times faster than Claude 2 and 2.1 with higher levels of intelligence. It excels at tasks demanding rapid responses like knowledge retrieval or sales automation. Opus delivers similar speeds to Claude 2 and 2.1, but with much higher levels of intelligence. So what this makes me think, this is really good because we need basically like instant responses. Like that's where things are going, especially when you're incorporating it into different applications as well as incorporating it to different businesses. Like I give this example when I was doing my video on Groq, which is the new chip, which basically is faster than any other chips, faster than NVIDIA chips for these AI models. And it would be interesting too to see some of these new Claude models run on the Groq chips. Right now, they're mainly on open source models and whatnot, but imagine some of these really fast AI models using the Groq chip. That would make things really, really powerful. Like I mentioned in the Groq video, for things like cold calling centers or call centers, support centers. These are things that we've already started to see AI software that's able to do these AI sales or call center agents or sales agents or whatever. And when you're talking to an AI, you can't ask it a question saying, how's your day going today? And then it has 5-second waits. And then it says, my day's going good. You need it right away to enhance that customer experience, right? So this is on the right track with Claude. And then strong vision capabilities. The Claude 3 models have sophisticated vision capabilities on par with other leading models. They can process a wide range of visual formats, including photos, charts, graphs, and technical diagrams. We're particularly excited to provide this new modality to our enterprise customers, some of whom have up to 50% of their knowledge bases encoded in various formats, such as PDFs, work flowcharts, and presentation slides. So this is also really good, of course. So now it actually it has multi-modalities, not just text. It has, visualization, and here is their vision. So, and this is the benchmarks right here we can see. So Claude 3 Opus, Claude 3 Sonnet, Claude 3 Haiku versus GPT-4 Vision, Gemini 1.4 or 1.0 Ultra and Pro. And we'll see here, the ones in the green are the ones that are the highest. So it's tied for math and reasoning with Gemini Ultra. And then it's pretty high with document visual Q&A, 89%. Math, it is just at 50%. The highest is 53%. Science diagrams, 88%. The highest is 88.7. It's actually 88.1, so it's the second highest. And then chart Q&A, 80.8%. The highest is 81.7. So really good benchmarks comparative to these models. And now I'm going to play the actual Claude 3 Opus video so you can get an idea of how it actually works in specific situations.
In this video, we're going to see if Claude and a couple of friends can help us analyze the world economy in a matter of minutes. Okay, I've asked Claude 3 Opus, which is the largest model in Anthropic's new Claude 3 family, to look at the GDP trends for the US and write down a markdown table of what it sees. We've given Opus, and all the other models in the Claude 3 family, extensive training on tool use, and one of the major tools it's using is this webview tool. It goes to a URL, looks at what's on the page, and because it's multimodal, it can use the information on that page to solve complex problems. So here's the markdown, and it's important to note that Claude doesn't have direct access to these numbers. It's literally looking at this same browser you and I are seeing, looking at the trend line, and trying to estimate what the exact numbers are. Let's see how accurate it was. We've asked the model to create a plot of the data, and it's used this second tool, this Python interpreter, to write out the code and then render the image for us to check. And here's the image. Look, it's actually added helpful little tooltip animations to explain some of the major peaks and troughs in the last decade or two of the US economy. And we can compare that graph with the actual data, and it turns out it's pretty close. It's actually within 5% accuracy. And by the way, Claude's transcription here isn't just coming from its pre-existing knowledge of US GDP. We tried it with a large sample of made-up GDP graphs, and its transcription accuracy was within 11% on average. Next, we asked the model to do some statistical analysis, projecting out into the future, performing simulations to see where the GDP of the US might head. And we can see that it's run this analysis using Python, and it's able to perform these Monte Carlo simulations to see what the range of GDP possibilities might look like for the next decade or so. But I wonder if we can go further. We're going to get the model to analyse a more complicated question, that is, how GDP might change across all of the biggest world economies. And then to help it do that, we're going to give it one more tool called Dispatch Subagents. This basically allows the model to break down the problem into lots of subproblems and then write prompts for other versions of itself to help pick up the slack. The models can then complete a more complex task by all working together. Here you can see it's written this prompt and given very precise instructions that it wants the other models to follow, including a format for the data that it's hoping to return. It's dispatched a version of this prompt to one model that's going to look at the US, one for China, one for Germany, Japan, and so on. And we can see in these progress bars that the subagent models are now completing the set task for each of the individual economies. They're going to the relevant web pages, they're getting the information, they're running the code to analyze it, just like we saw in the previous US example, but all in parallel. Let's just skip forward to see what the model produced. You can see it's run the analysis, it's produced a pre and post pie chart of how it expects the world economy to look in 2030 versus 2020, and it's given us a written analysis too, where it makes verbal predictions that relate to the statistical analysis that it ran. It's telling us that it thinks the GDP share of particular economies will change and which ones will be larger or smaller by 2030. So there we have it. Complex, multi-step, multimodal analysis run by a model that can create subagents to get even more tasks running in parallel. We're excited to see what you, our customers, can do with these advanced Claude 3 capabilities.
All right, so that video is pretty crazy. And just to continue on, we have also fewer refusals. So this is a new update as well for these models. So previous Claude models often made unnecessary refusals that suggested a lack of contextual understanding. We've made meaningful progress in this area. Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku are significantly less likely to refuse answers to prompts that border on the system's guardrails than previous generations of models. As shown below, the Claude 3 models show a more nuanced understanding of requests, recognize real harm, and refuse to answer harmless prompts much less often. All right, so you can see here incorrect refusals, refused on harmless prompts on the left-hand side for a percentage, so 10%, 20%, 30%. And then we have Claude 3 Opus right here, just over 10%. We're looking at about 12%. Sonnet, we're looking at about 11%. And then Haiku, we're looking at about 7%. And then if you look at Claude 2.1, we were just over like around 26%. So we're looking at about around half, I would say, a bit more than half that you're actually going to get for, less refused prompts for different harmless things. And you would notice this too, like if you were talking to it, it was really annoying sometimes because you would ask it something and it wouldn't be able to answer. So I'm going to also play another Claude 3 video for the Haiku so you can get an understanding of how that model works.
Claude Haiku is one of the fastest and most affordable vision-capable models in the world. To demonstrate this, we're going to read through thousands of scanned documents in a matter of minutes. The Library of Congress Federal Writers Project is a collection of thousands of scanned transcripts from interviews during the Great Depression. This is a goldmine of incredible narratives and real-life heroes, but it's locked away in hard-to-access scans of transcripts. Imagine you're a documentary filmmaker or journalist. How can you dig through these thousands of messy documents to find the best source material for your research without reading them all yourself? Since these documents are scanned images, we can't feed them into a text-only LLM, and these scans are messy enough that they would be a challenge for most dedicated OCR software. But luckily, Haiku is natively vision capable and can use surrounding text to transcribe these images and really understand what's going on. We can also go beyond simple transcription for each interview and ask Haiku to generate structured JSON output with metadata like title, date, keywords, but also use some creativity and judgment to assess how compelling a documentary the story and characters would be. We can process each document in parallel for performance, and with Claude's high availability API, do that at massive scale for hundreds or thousands of documents. Let's take a look at some of that structured output. Haiku is able to not just transcribe, but pull out creative things like keywords. We've transformed this collection of many scans into rich keyword structured data. Imagine what any organization with a knowledge base of scanned documents, like a traditional publisher, healthcare provider, or law firm, can do. Haiku can parse their extensive archives and bodies of work. We'd love for you to try it out and see what you build.
Okay, and another thing with these models is improved accuracy. So businesses of all sizes rely on our models to serve their customers, making it imperative for our models' outputs to maintain high accuracy at scale. To assess this, we use a large set of complex factual questions that target known weaknesses in current models. We categorize the responses into correct answers, incorrect answers, or hallucinations, and admissions of uncertainty where the model says it doesn't know the answer instead of providing incorrect information. Compared to Claude 2.1, Opus demonstrates a twofold improvement in accuracy or correct answers on these challenging open-ended questions while also exhibiting reduced levels of incorrect answers. In addition to producing more trustworthy responses, we will soon enable citations in our Claude 3 models so they can point to precise sentences in reference material to verify their answers. So that's something I really like when using AI models, is having those references or those citations so you can actually check and see where it's getting that information. If you don't know, then I mean, you're just taking the AI model off of its word, and it's a lot harder to fact check when it doesn't cite it, because then if you actually were to fact check, which a lot of people don't do, you would have to go type that information into something like Google and then find that article, and it could be amongst 10 different articles or websites or wherever on the web. When you have it plugged in directly into the AI model with the citations, you can easily just fact check, and it makes things a lot easier when doing your research. So here we see the graph of hard questions, percent of questions set. We can see the percentage here. So Claude 3 Opus versus Claude 2.1. So correct answers on the left hand right here, we have Claude Opus getting just over 45%, I would say. And then Claude 2.1 just over 20% correct. And then incorrect questions we're getting under 35% for Opus and about 42 for Claude 2.1. So it's getting a lot more correct that need to be correct than Claude, almost double. And then it's getting a bit less incorrect that it shouldn't, get correct, that it shouldn't be, that are incorrect, right? So, and then I don't know or unsure, it's getting a lot less of those. So it's just under 20%, about 19 for Opus. And then about in the 35s, I would say, or 30, just actually about 30% for 2.1, Claude 2.1. So, and then here is the Claude Sonnet video.
This is just a simple prompt to turn Sonnet into a dialogue agent that will talk with you in a language that you're trying to learn. So I chose Spanish, and I wanted it to basically take my imperfect Spanish and help me improve it. So I decided I wanted it to do a few things. I wanted it to take my message, which will be in kind of imperfect Spanish, and write out what it thinks I intended in English. I then ask it to write back the ideal learner message, which is just my message as it kind of should have been written in Spanish, so I can see the kind of ideal form of this. Then I ask it to write a teacher response, which is just a response to me in Spanish, so that I can continue the conversation. Great, so this is basically just Sonnet saying that we're ready to start, so I'll just start with a simple first message. And here it's following the format that I asked for, so it's repeating the message that I tried to send it back to me in English. It's telling me how I should have said it, so it's corrected some of the grammar issues in my request. And then it's responded to me in Spanish. And then it's asked me where I'm from, so... Okay, now imagine I don't know a certain word in Spanish, but I still want to say it. I'm going to just include that word in English in square brackets, and hopefully it'll just translate it back to me. And suppose I hit a roadblock because I just don't understand the message that it sent to me. I can just ask it to translate that message to me into English, and then I can read that and I can respond to it again in Spanish, continuing the dialogue. And as a final step, you could ask Sonnet to create a little quiz for you based on the things that you've been discussing. So hopefully that is a useful prompt if you're interested in using Sonnet as a language learning partner. I hope you try it out.
Another thing that is added is long context and near perfect recall. All right, so Claude also was known for having pretty long context before GPT-4 Turbo came and then Gemini came. It was known for having the longest context, but now it's even having a longer context. So the Claude 3 family of models will initially offer a 200,000 context window upon launch. However, all three models are capable of accepting inputs exceeding 1 million tokens, and we may make this available to select customers who need enhanced processing power. To process long context prompts effectively, models require robust recall capabilities. The needle in a haystack, NIAH, evaluation measures a model's ability to accurately recall information from a vast corpus of data. We enhance the robustness of this benchmark by using one of 30 random needle/question pairs per prompt and testing on a diverse crowdsourced corpus of documents. Claude 3 Opus not only achieved near perfect recall, surpassing 99% accuracy, but in some cases, it even identified the limitations of the evaluations itself by recognizing that the needle sentence appeared to be artificially inserted into the original text by a human. So this is really powerful. If you haven't heard of the needle and haystack evaluation, this is something that Google Gemini did as well for their models. It's a very good evaluation when, testing these large context models and being able to see if it's actually able to recall that information and not just somewhat skim over it, but it's looking through big chunks of context window, like say videos or text, whatever the case is for tokens. And it's able to actually notice things like a needle in a haystack. So it's crazy that these models are getting so powerful. 200,000 context window a year ago, or would have been very unheard of, or just crazy. GPT-4 Turbo announced their 140,000 context window. That was a huge deal. So and then Gemini came, and they even have more higher context models up to 1 million, or even GPT or Gemini 1.5 to 10 million potentially for probably enterprise clients once they get there. It's getting pretty crazy. All right, as we see these context windows increase as well as the recall increase, think about how these models are improving to be able to do that. And I could go on for a while for this. I'm just going to move on and get to the next part, but I'm just planting that idea in your head. Let me know what you guys thoughts are on how these models are increasing like that. It's pretty crazy in my opinion. So Claude 3 Opus recall accuracy over 200,000 tokens, average over many diverse documents sourced, and needle sentences. So this is the quote unquote almost perfect percentage, and we can see here needle position percent on the left hand side, and then context length, from 12,000 contexts to 200,000 contexts. It's getting those, finding those needles, all right, and getting it with almost basically 100% accuracy. So pretty crazy stuff. Also, these are easier to use, so the Claude 3 models are better at following complex multi-step instructions. They are particularly adept at adhering to brand voice and response guidelines and developing customer-facing experiences our users can trust. In addition, the Claude 3 models are better at producing popular structured outputs in formats like JSON, making it simpler to instruct Claude for use cases like natural language classification and sentiment analysis. All right, so pretty crazy stuff, guys, and we'll get into kind of what the difference is between some of these three models if you couldn't really tell, which you probably couldn't fully tell from those videos. And one thing I just want to point out too before this is that in the first video with Opus, you'll see how it mentions about using different models to achieve kind of the task, kind of like somewhat getting closer to more like kind of like an agent type thing. So that's really cool because obviously that's the direction we've been moving in with the AI space. And as more companies start to move in this direction, it's going to push other companies to do this, because that's one thing that we are speculating that someone like OpenAI, it's pretty much starting to look like, I personally believe, and pretty much a lot of people believe, that they obviously have a lot more, and they've said this, the people at their company have literally said this, that they have so much more basically, advancements within their labs than obviously is released to the public. And that's you would kind of expect that. But with that being said, they may already have something like agents already. They've definitely been working on them. They've stated that they've been working towards them. So they may already have something like that, or they may be really close. So as more companies start putting these things out like agents or other advancements, then it may push OpenAI to put some of their big advancements out, all right? Because they're heavily leading the space right now. And so the three Claude models, just to sum it up: Opus, highest intelligence, that's their best model; Sonnet, more affordable than other models with similar intelligence, and it's good for scale; and then Haiku is very fast and low cost, all right? And Opus, and a little bit more detailed breakdown on these. So Claude Opus is our most intelligent model with best in market performance on highly complex tasks. It can navigate open-ended prompts and cite unseen scenarios with remarkable fluency and human-like understanding. Opus shows us the outer limits of what's possible with generative AI. So this is cost for the first is input per million tokens, and then the second is output per million tokens. So $15 per input of a million tokens, $75 per output of a million tokens. Kind of pricey. And then the context window is 200K. Potentially, at the bottom you'll see 1 million tokens available to specific use cases. Please inquire. And then potential use is task automation, plan and execute complex actions across APIs and databases, interactive coding, R&D, research, review, brainstorming and generation, drug discovery, and then strategy, advanced analysis of charts, graphs, financials, and market trends. And then differentiator is higher intelligence than any other model available. Next is Claude Sonnet. So strikes the ideal balance between intelligence and speed, particularly for enterprise workloads. It delivers strong performance at a lower cost compared to its peers and is engineered for higher endurance in large-scale AI deployments. Cost per mil is $3 per input and then $15 per output of tokens, and then context window 200K. Potential uses: data processing, RAG or search and retrieval over vast amounts of knowledge; sales, product recommendations, forecasting, targeted marketing; and then time-saving tasks, code generation, quality control, parse text from images; and then differentiator, more affordable than other models with similar intelligence and better for scale. Next and lastly is Claude 3 Haiku. Is our fastest model, most compact model for near instant responsiveness. It answers simple queries and requests with unmatched speed. Users will be able to build seamless AI experiences that mimic human interactions. Cost per mil, of course, 0.25 cents for input, and then $1.25 per output. And then context window, 200K, potential uses, customer interactions, quick and accurate support in live interactions, translations, content moderation, catch risky behavior or customer requests, and then cost saving tasks, optimize logistics, inventory management, extract knowledge from unstructured data, and then the differentiator, smarter, faster, and more affordable than other models in its intelligence category. All right, so that is that for the Claude launch, and it's pretty crazy that this thing is, beating GPT-4, Sam Altman's AI, OpenAI, as well as Google Gemini, and in these benchmarks, this is showing that Claude is definitely something, don't count them out of the race to AGI. I mean, they still got a ways to go. I mean, like I said, everyone kind of has a bit of ways to go, it looks like, towards OpenAI, but maybe this will push Sam Altman to release some more features. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think Sam's going to be, pushed to release some new features? Maybe some new Sora stuff. Maybe he's going to push Sora faster, or maybe he's going to release GPT-5. Who knows? But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are about Claude 3. I'll be definitely making more videos about Claude 3, so make sure to smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. And other than that, guys, you will see that there is a bar scrolling right here. If you want to join our free YouTube community, it's a Stride. It's called Stride Community. It's a free AI community where you can network with myself as well as like-minded individuals, AI enthusiasts, entrepreneurs, business owners, whatever the case may be. There's a bunch of free resources there on AI, prompts, videos, exclusive stuff. It's a free Discord channel and free Facebook group. Just go to stridecommunity.com, as well as our free 6-day Accelerate Your Stride AI challenge. A lot of value packed in there. People charge like thousands of dollars for this stuff that people sell like courses for that or whatever. So it's 100% free. You can just go to accelerateyourstride.com. I'll be launching that live challenge very soon. And then last couple of things, guys, is I did just launch a big personal milestone for me as I wrote this book. Took a really long time, dedicated like the last few months of 2023 to actually writing this thing, getting it published, and put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, as well as my heart and my soul. So it's called Client Acquisition Code. If you run a business with your coach, marketing agency, consultant, anything online that you need leads, this book will dramatically help your business. 600 pages of pure value, 600 plus pages, and will help you escape the guru matrix. All right, so you can get the digital copy as well as a bunch of bonuses. Like I have a accelerator course, as well as free templates, all this stuff. Go check it out. There's eight bonuses you can get at clientacquisitioncode.com. It's only $27, guys, and it's less than a cup of coffee a day for a month. And there's a 30-day guarantee. So if you don't feel like, you got value from it or whatever, just shoot me an email and I'll refund you. So there's literally nothing to lose. I also do go over the best CRM to use in that book and exactly how to set it up. It's GoHighLevel. It's the best CRM. My whole business is built on it. I literally swear by it. I tell everyone to use it. We have a free snapshot right here. It's GoStrideLevel.com. So if you sign up through GoHighLevel through our affiliate link, it doesn't cost you anything else than you would if you just signed up through the website. I'll send you that free snapshot with custom websites, custom forms, custom all the automations and stuff you would need to get started, as well as a free training with a bunch of different bonuses. Definitely check that out. There's a video on there explaining it all. Best CRM, trust me. It's also the most affordable CRM. I've tried all the ones in the industry like HubSpot, Close.io, all the top CRMs. GoHighLevel is the best. Other than that, guys, smash that subscribe button. I will be posting a lot of content. I'm going hard on the YouTube grind. Road to 100K. Appreciate all your support, all your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, accelerate your stride. Take care, guys.